Well, Sydney Sanders was replaced by Barker, so she's the one who has taken that spot for Oklahoma. She faces Chloe Barber, who has been on since the second frame. Actually, in the first frame, I should say. Came in the first, got the one out that she needed. In the third, gave up 2 home runs. But that Wichita State offense being pesky and battling back to get a 6th spot on the board. 10 total runs in the third. We had 10 total runs in the first as well.
Yeah, I think right now what Chloe Barber needs to focus on is
up, 1 down.
Ailana
Agbayani now to the plate. She is 1 for 2 today, singled back in the first. Agbayani coming from BYU, established herself as one of the best hitters in a breakout sophomore campaign for the Cougars. Ended up starting 52 games as the everyday shortstop, but a shortstop that can get on base for the best of them. .424 being the batting average. 1.128 OPS. Did not strike out all that much. Had 7 Ks and 208 plate appearances last year.
wow.
I'm sure some might recognize the last name, Agbayani. Dad, Benny, played 400 games across 5 seasons in Major League Baseball. Played for the Mets, the Rockies, the Red Sox. She had a sister that played collegiate softball at California, BYU. Has a brother that's committed to play. Batted around in the third, and Lauren Lucas ends up kicking off the bottom of the fourth with a leadoff walk. With Oklahoma winning that national championship last year, OU is the only softball program to win 4 consecutive national titles, and just one of 3 programs in NCAA history to win more than 2 national championships.
Lord. I mean, they're superb.
2 balls, 1 strike for Brooklyn Levonick. And it looks like we have a ball that comes from the stands. Ruh-roh. Looks like we had a kid playing with the ball there for a moment. By the way, lots of people here in attendance. It's actually a record breaker for Wichita State. 1,245 people in attendance. The previous largest crowd was 1,115. That was number 12 LSU. That was on March 16, 2017. But here you are with over 1,200 fans in the stands.
And I definitely feel with the renovations to Wichita State Stadium, you know, that could be even more in the future. And it's really refreshing to see for the Shockers.
Well, you have a commitment. Christy Bredbender has done a tremendous job of building this program. Now you're seeing the backing in many, many ways. Of course, the fan support is the easiest thing to see. But whenever you look at that date, but it wasn't that long ago. You and I were here. North Texas was in town. And I didn't think that was that far along. And now you see it just maybe a week or two later, and all of a sudden, oh, hey, something's really coming together, something really, really special here on the campus at Wichita State University. We're set to see our third Oklahoma pitcher. Its 15th appearance on the year. An ERA of 104. Just 9 earned runs surrendered over 60 1/3 innings.
Yeah, that's insane. Much respect for her.
Kirsten Deal started this game for Oklahoma. Peyton Monticelli followed, but after dealing back-to-back walks, now we see Sam Landry, who has already faced Wichita State once this season. It was an 8-1 win for Oklahoma back in February. Landry ended up going 5 2/3 and struck out 10. And after the first couple pitches, you can probably see why. That's a good variety in her bag of tricks for Oklahoma.
Movement is insane. The difference between fast and slow is, it's a big bridge, so really effective pitching. Wow.
Taylor Solacek, who's 2 for 2, down the count 1-2. What's probably even more impressive about Sam Landry? She deals the 1-2 outside. 9 earned runs given up, right? 5 came in one game, and it was her first outing against San Diego State. So she has given up 4 the rest of the way. 2-2 from Landry. Inside. And bonus for Wichita State as it gets by the catcher. Runners advance, and 2 runners are in scoring position for Wichita State. Three, 2 from Landry. It's a lot. Oklahoma has surrendered its most runs all season, with the Shockers reaching 11. And Gabby Scott trying to keep things moving. Freshman at a big spot here for Wichita State. Gabby Scott today grounded out to short back in the second, walked in the 3rd frame. And then she was sent home courtesy of a big hit for Sammy Hood. 1 ball, 1 strike as Landry grooves that one in there. Landry gets the call there. It's 1-2. In case you're wondering, the 11 runs for Wichita State, the series since 1998. The most amount of runs scored by the Shockers against Oklahoma had been 7. And that was back in 2021 when the Shockers fell 24-7 down to Norman.
Yes, I was there.
Sure, it was a long day, even for Miss Energy like you.
I mean, it was still really fun, though.
Two coming from Landry. Scott puts it in play. That's good enough.
Sometimes you just got to do a job. Get them in.
Not exactly pretty. At this stage for Wichita State, they'll take what they can get. And Sammy Hood, who already has a home run here today, she decided to go with a bunt that time. if she gets a hold of another one, and Wichita State would have rallied all the way back to tie up the game. Trailed 8-0 after the top half of the first. Down 10-2 in the bottom of the second. And Hood went after that one, but Landry with enough ump behind it to get the swing and miss there. The Shockers were down 14-3 going to the bottom of the third. Hood swings and hit for this evening. It was in the right spot to make that challenging for Hood.
Good stretch by Compton. Man, I would have tore a hamstring or something on that one, but
she did the best she could, but Dayton with the wheels. And now you have a very capable player of stealing a bag over there at first with Dayton, who has 11 swipes this year. Nelly Macaron-Marinas goes after the first one and finds the gap. Rolls all the way back. Nelly Macaron-Marinas brings in a run for Oklahoma. Play. Macaron-Marinas, I think, still would have been able to drive in that run just because of the wheels for Dayton. And now we do see Cassidy Pickering coming up to the plate.
Now the plate for the Sooners, Cassidy Pickering.
Her first two plate appearances, ending with walks, scored both times, and then in the third, had a 2-run homer. She now is in double figures with long balls, up 10 after that one. Barber takes some off it. 1 ball, 1 strike. This one off the plate. Oklahoma with 15 runs. The most for the Sooners all season has been 17. And just based on how this game has gone, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more runs get put on the board.
yeah, both offenses are just going crazy today.
Scooping on over the first. Instead, it ends up going wide of the target. Gabby Garcia ends up sprinting all the way to third. And now we see Ava Sliger. Ella Parker. She's back in. Tia Malloy came on in the third for her and ended up striking out, but Parker has been reinserted into the lineup for Oklahoma. Well, Sliger, she was in a very similar position yesterday for Wichita State. It was Riley Neihart who was in the circle for Wichita State. Maddie Young ended up hammering one right off her shin. Neihart then had to be replaced by Ava Sliger, and boy, did the freshman deal in relief. She ended up going 4 1/3, surrendered just 2 hits, had 2 Ks and 1 walk. 17-12 Oklahoma. That one in there, 2 balls, 1 strike. Before the appearance yesterday, Sliger against UTSA went 2 1/3. Her best game was against North Texas, where she went the distance Scattered 7 hits across those 7 innings. Gave up 2 runs. And the best part, none of them were earned in that game for her. Chris like, hey, hold on. And now they're going to go take a look. This is the best angle.
Oh.
Sure didn't. They did not hit the foot of Barker, at least on that angle.
Yeah, I didn't see any contact, but you know, who am I to say?
Well, we've had some that are close, but this one sure looks like it didn't hit her. And if it did, it would have just been really just a little, like maybe a grazing there. But there you go, take a look. Maybe allowing fans to catch their breath a little bit as they see 30 combined runs on the board. And coming up after this, some fireworks for the fans that made the trek out this way. But who knows what we're going to see? We still have a couple more innings left.
Yes, we do.
Unless Oklahoma, of course, is able to get a couple more and then hold Wichita State scoreless in the bottom of the 5th. But that's unlikely to happen just based on what we've seen at this point, because the Shockers scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 6 in the third, and then 3 in the fourth. Chelsea Clark, Jonathan Dewhurst are the ones taking a look at it. And it ends up being confirmed.
It is confirmed
The batter is out. Well, there's the first out of the 5th inning.
Ailana Agbayani.
Agbayani now at the plate for Oklahoma. Runner in scoring position at second base. Keep in mind that's Helton who checked in. Agbayani singled in the first, flew out to third, walked in the fourth. Ended up trying to lay this one down, and ended up having to come back for a moment. I know we don't have a camera in the booth, but I just love the fact that when you start talking about some of the family histories, your reaction over here is just quite gold.
I don't
Because when
understand how they
talking
can all
about
be at.
that was probably tougher than what you realize.
Lefty slice, it's dangerous out there. Let me
Eck
tell
almost overcommitted. Good thing she stopped.
you. You got a little bit of wind out there, so you know that could also play a factor as well.
Well, it doesn't compared to what we saw last time there was a series here. Of course, the game yesterday in Central Arkansas, it was picture perfect. You couldn't ask for anything better. But against North Texas, the wind changed directions about 18 times over the course of 3 days.
I thought I was gonna get blown over going out to my vehicle. I mean, I'm only about 5 feet tall, and I was like, it's gonna take me. I don't really know what to do.
Well, you're not the 6'7" person where the trees just kind of, bend because of the wind. No, you're at least compact, closer to the ground, so you could probably handle it a little bit better. But no wind necessary here today for the home runs that we have seen. 4 for Wichita State, and for Oklahoma, the Sooners have been able to pound 3 over the wall as well. So 7 home runs here in this one.
7's a good number.
Isabella Emmerling
Ooh!
got a hold of that one, but that ends up going foul. She's got pop. We saw it on display in the third when she kicked off the third frame. Ended up smashing one that was a no-doubter back then. sitting with 9 home runs on the season. We've already seen one Sooner get into the double figures today. That's a good shot of doing that. 2-1 count. And if she's able to get a hold of one, that would make it 20 runs for Oklahoma.
I don't know if it's just me, but it looks like they're gonna.
Would be correct.
Don't give me too much credit.
Maya Bland. She's had a good day today for Oklahoma. And that's probably why Wichita State chose to go ahead and walk Emmerling, because you have Bland, who came into today's game with a batting average of 118. But don't sleep on her. Her first plate appearance was a 2 RBI single. And then she added to the hit total in the 3rd frame. You can hear Oklahoma fans not enjoying that call. It's an 0-2 count in favor of Slager. (0-2), similar spot, just a smidge further. 1-2. In case you're wondering what the all-time record is for Oklahoma for runs, they still have a little ways to go. 35 is the record for Oklahoma. For playing time, see if she can deliver. She has very much done that. Looks like she's coached this game for a little while or something, with some national championships mixed in there. 8 total national championships. And now the lineup card flips back over. Abigail Dayton is the one who kicked off the 5th with a single. Bases are loaded.
You just see the drop on that.
Kirsten Neal started this game for Oklahoma. Peyton Monticelli then followed. Here is Sam Landry, who's one of the top dogs in the country. Lauren Lucas, though, she's quality as well. Trying to extend this hit streak to 13 here today, though, with a couple of walks. She scored both times she's reached. But she might have to change the mindset, be down the count 0-2. To 13 consecutive games.
Might not have been a crazy hit, but man, it got down.
Her reaction probably tells the story a little bit, and that is, well, okay, I guess I'll take it. I don't think she was too pleased with herself, but with the Shockers getting that hit, they are now in double digits with 10. Brooklyn Levonick still searching for that first hit. A couple of grounders, walked in the 4th frame. Her and Lauren Lucas in the 5th frame yesterday against Central Arkansas. Lucas was 0 for 2, then had an RBI double to make it 12 consecutive games with a hit. Then Levonick 0 for 2 in the 5th, then had a 2 RBI double. Levonick chops this one foul. It's 1-2. Brooklyn Levonick, true freshman for Wichita State, going against one of the best in Landry. Levonick ends up keeping that one fair. They're going to rule that one foul. Looks like they do indeed call it foul. Well, for a moment, it was close to staying in there, but just a smidge to the left. Another look. Yeah, very clear. Good effort. So for being picked up.